Great. Thanks, everybody. Well, the point of today is to talk about delivering industry foresight, and I had a great experience of doing this. I guess at the time I probably didn't know that's what I was doing, but now that we're working on this delivering industry foresight learning, I now know that in fact that is what we were doing. We were responding really to a question from our client, the CEO of Trinity Health, and he was asking us if we could give them some perspective on what's going on in the provider marketplace. He felt that we had the ability to see a lot more different environments than they do, and through our client work, and that they kind of get focused on their own organization. And so he asked us if we would help them look into the future a little bit. We decided to use a framework for that, something called a periscope. So we essentially built a periscope for Trinity Health around provider trends. We used the periscope acronym and the periscope visual on all of the materials that we put together. But ultimately we ended up with a one-page framework for our discussion. We did it as a dinner with the client. And this came at a real inflection point in our relationship with Trinity. They're an audit client, but we thought there were other things that we could be doing to add value beyond the audit. And so this idea of looking in the future, looking around the corner for them, building a periscope for them around provider trends, was a perfect opportunity. So I collected a number of people to help do this, including folks from the Center for Health Solutions. Paul Keckley helped us and came to the dinner. Jeff Christoph, who was the lead consulting partner on the Trinity engagement. Interesting that we had a lead consulting partner on an audit relationship, but we in fact asked Jeff to focus on Trinity Health. And then we brought another partner with us as well. And we scheduled a time with the client for a few hours on a dinner discussion. It ended up going for 4 hours. And think about that, 4 hours and just one piece of paper in front of everybody. The idea with the Periscope one-pager was a 1 to 3 year framework and a 3 to 10 year framework. And then we had about 6 or 7 different areas of provider trends. And we went out on the edge of the diving board. We were willing to tell our client, we think the future is going to look different. And here's how we think it's going to look. And therefore, Trinity needs to make some decisions about what you're going to look like as an organization in that future state. And so this is a little bit outside the comfort zone for us, right? We don't typically think like this with our clients. But in this case, they loved it. And they respected the fact that we were willing to come forward with these thoughts and with this foresight, and it ended up being a 4-hour dinner, which the CEO had to close off, and it ended up being the beginning of a number of projects that we did with Trinity, respecting the audit relationship. There's certain things we can and certain things we can't do for them because we're the auditors, but we respected those restrictions, and this became an opportunity for us to kind of paint a new relationship, at least a new facet of our relationship with Trinity going forward. All because the CEO asked, and we went outside of our comfort zone and thought about what the provider world would look like in the future. And that's tough for us to think that way. But more and more, that's what our clients are looking for us to do. So this was a great example of being willing to kind of project ourselves and our clients into a future state, using our industry knowledge, using macro trends, using the trends specific to our sector, in this case provider, and then rallying around a dinner meeting with a discussion. That's intimidating, right? There's not a real framework for this, and so we had to lead most of the early part of this. Then it became very engaging. Then towards the end, it was mostly about them saying, you're right about this. You're right about the move to centralized and standardized infrastructures. You're right about the increased conflict with physicians. Whatever the issue was, it seemed to resonate with them that we put on the table. And then the end result was, boy, Deloitte could really help us in a few of these areas. So just think about this in all of your own client situations. How could you build a periscope for your client? How could you project your client into some future state with a change and a dramatic change in an industry lens, and put that on there in a way that allows your client to look at you differently and to say, wow, with all that perspective, with all that insight, with all that different client experience that Deloitte possesses, they packaged it together for our organization, and they presented it in a way that was believable, and that that had us thinking differently, told us something we didn't already know. And so this concept of looking around the corner, seeing what's going to be different, this is huge. This is a huge way for us to deliver different kind of insights to our clients. And I would just suggest you'd be willing to try it. And I bet if you ask your client, would they take a dinner like this? Would they take a meeting like this? They're going to say yes, and they're going to say, can we do it tomorrow? We haven't done it enough historically. And so I would just tell you, be willing to take the risk. Ask for some help with some other partners to help you put it together. Ask the client for the meeting. Deliver it in a way that's a discussion, that's a framework for thinking about the future a little differently. You'll be impressed with how it changes the relationship with your client. So with that, I would just say, take the risk. It's worth it.